Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Rockingham Speedway, one of stock cars racing's toughest old school battlegrounds, where tonight the field takes on a place built on grit, patience, and tire management. The Rock has always carried a reputation as a driver's oval. A place where speed matters, but discipline definitely matters more. And where the race rarely comes to the driver who burns up everything too early. This is a track that rewards complete laps. Rockingham asks drivers to get the car rotated, stay patient through the center, and launch hard without abusing the tires on exit. This might not be the biggest oval on the schedule, coming in at just 0.94 miles, and it's not the fastest, but it always has been one of the most punishing when it comes to overdriving the car. With that being said, folks, it's going to be a challenge for the drivers tonight to take on the Rock, and only a few of them have yet to set a lap. As we get ready for the session to conclude, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody watching live now or in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, get notifications for when DRSN goes live next. As we said, coming to the last few moments of the session, waiting for the last of the drivers to complete their laps before we take over to getting the drivers all gridded up. The Rock is a track that opened back in October 31 of 1965 as North Carolina Motor Speedway, located in Richmond County, North Carolina. It's got a D-shaped oval configuration. It originally opened as a flat 1 mile oval, and then it was reconfigured in 1969 into the high banked D shape that defines the track for decades. As we were talking to a few of the drivers before the race, figuring out the fuel mileage and a possible strategy, expecting the fuel mileage to only go around 40 laps. So we'll have to be breaking this one up into thirds one way or another. This being a 94 lap race tonight at the Rock. Dana Ryan is doing Dana Ryan things and holding down provisional pole yet again. John Cherry, Tyler Starcher, and Steve Cassell trying to do things on their own also. So back in 1977, a 1.5 mile road course was added to make the Rock a little bit more versatile. And of course, the venue later went through major restoration and returned to NASCAR National Series competition in the mid-2020s. Couple of the strategy points we're going to be talking about tonight are going to include tire management, corner exit, track position, and driver's patience over panic. Taking a look at those results, it will be Dana Ryan, John Cherry, Tyler Starcher, the 1, 2, 3, then Steve Cassell, Cody Deek, Andrew Childers, Dean Barron, Brandon Biddy, Mark Olette, Jack Kelly, Mark Brister, Brandon Gordon, Jonathan Kibbe, Andrew Floyd, Dwayne Pierce, Colin Swanson, Matthew Hobbs, Raymond Bell, Jacob Brownell, and Stephen Porter. The starting grid is going to include on row 1 Dana Ryan and John Cherry. On that first, Tyler Starcher and Steve Cassell on the second. Cody Deek and Andrew Childers on that third row. And it'll be Dean Barron and Brandon Biddy along the fourth. Fifth row further back for Mark Olette and Jack Kelly. And then the sixth going the way for Mark Brister and Brandon Gordon. Jonathan Kibbe and Andrew Floyd further back in row 7. Row 8 going the way of Dwayne Pierce and Colin Swanson. Then we have Matthew Hobbs and Raymond Bell on row number 9. Row number 10 going to Brownell and Stephen Porter. Taking a look at the grid of drivers, we have some just absolutely amazing paint schemes out here tonight. Here we go, folks. The race is on. Green flag is in the air, and it's green, green, green. Here we are. And we're going down in towards turn number 1, and it will be Dana Ryan getting a good run of it. But right now, I'm keeping my eye on, I believe that's John Cherry further back. No, that's going to be Steve Cassell rocking that number 1 badge car as he is trying to find some way through the cars ahead. But really loosey-goosey is going to be the Oath Racing Machine of Cody Deek, Andrew Childers, now going wheel to wheel with Brandon Biddy. Puffs of smoke coming out as drivers collide with the wall. I think that was Mark Olette, the First Gear Racing Machine, lost a few positions on that tussle. Here comes John Cherry down to the apron. What's going on to Cherry? That'll be a black flag for John Cherry, and that's going to send him to the back of the pack immediately. Dana Ryan, the rocket ship that he is for Rocket One Racing or the Biddy family racing team. He's been doing really great right now to run away with it, a 1 second gap already. But as we talked about during the pre-race, will he burn up his tires is the question as he continues to pump in fast lap after fast lap. Dana Ryan continues to drive forward. seeped in this battle pack right now. Gonna be that number 3 of Tyler Starcher. Unfortunately badged on the timing tower as the number 17 of Starcher. Clean right now. You can see the drivers trying to get a good launch on exit. There goes Cody Deek trying to drive on Starcher coming out of 4. Might get alongside here. There goes a move from Cody Deek, chucks it in at turn number 1, and that'll be a look at the stamp and send if I've ever seen one. But Cody Deek's gonna make that one work. Get the move done on Starcher while he can. Here comes the number 3, Tyler Starcher, trying to defend back Steve Cassell, but let's take a look up here. What's going on as Cody Deek and Brandon Biddy from Biddy Family Racing are getting a lot familiar on the racetrack here on lap 12. Oh, and the number 2 of Brandon Biddy nearly runs into the rear end of Cody Deek out in front, but just narrowly avoids doing so. Here comes Brownell and Matthew Hobbs, the 6'7", and the 42 are going to challenge each other here and now. Coming through the dog leg across the stripe, it will be Brownell in front of Hobbs. There's another move. This time it's going to be Martin Brister, who's going to be shaking and baking, finding his moves done on the number 13 of Jonathan Kibbe up ahead. Kibbe under threat now, but let's take a look at the battle for P2 as Dana Ryan is seemingly running away with it right now, leaving the rest to squabble over the pieces. There goes Brandon Biddy with his 6 positions gained on the evening. Bit of a moment there for the 38 of Jack Kelly. Not running too well, losing 1. He lost a few there on the charge from the field around him. And hopefully he can pick up the pieces, as this is going to be a very short race actually. Only 94 laps. We might actually even unfortunately miss Charisse tonight, as I haven't seen her in the YouTube chat. Cody Deek still has Steve Cassell behind him, and Andrew Childers there also lurking for his opportunity. Jesus Saves in the YouTube chat, thank you very much for supporting us. Cheering on Dana Ryan. who needs no luck tonight as the skill of Dana Ryan is pulling out a tremendous early gap. Now the question will definitely be, and you can see it there, when will he run into traffic? Oh, number 3 gives a little push and a nudge to Steve Cassell, but I think that's the overspeed that he needed to get alongside that number 2 of, the 2-2 of Cody Deek. Brendan Biddy up the road, escaping with his life. This leaves Cody Deek, Steve Cassell, Tyler Starcher, and now Andrew Childers in the fight. There goes a lunge from that number 3. He was a little bit tired of waiting around for his opportunity, and I think he just seized the day when it was available. Tyler Starcher now up into 3rd. Cassell and Cody Deek now wheel to wheel coming through 3, and this might be Childers' opportunity to get the overspeed on the duo as they continue their battle. Whoa, no, that's Dwayne Pierce having a bit of an excursion in the infield, possibly celebrating his victory a little too early. Hold the phone, folks. This is going to be Brandon Biddy getting through on a back marker. And up ahead, you can see Dana Ryan sweating a little bit as he gets familiar with the concrete barriers. And that'll be a pit stop call for Dana Ryan. Splitting this one equally into thirds is not looking to be an option as he sets himself up for the stage break. Oh, that is close and tight between Porter and Cali. Here we go. The battles are going to settle down a little bit as drivers find their limits after they've rubbed out the limit of their tire grip. Steve Cassell here now, trying to find better than third, but we still have Dana Ryan, who took that pit stop earlier on. We'll have to see how that plays favor for his strategy on the evening. On board with Cassell as we chase down Cody Deek and the Oath Racing organization. Mark Olette decides it's time to call it quits as he makes his trip down pit road as well. Drivers getting closer and closer to splitting this one mathematically into thirds. There comes a dive down pit lane. That looks like Cody Deek is taking that early opportunity. Oh, and who is that? Is that Jonathan Kibbe? That is Jonathan Kibbe getting dicey with Andrew Childers right now. Just saw him come off the wall, and then now he's going to attack Andrew Childers. Kibbe up 10 positions on the good. On board with Mark Brister, the SRM Ford Mustang. You can just hear how much understeer he got coming out of turn 2. He's just not getting the drive that he needs. The cars that have come in for those pit stops are just lightning quick. There goes Dana Ryan in the number 27 through and through on him. Andrew Floyd comes down pit lane. Brandon Biddy comes down pit lane. And so does Mark Brister. Matthew Hobbs making the call as well, leaving only a few out. Cassell, Kibbe, Gordon, and Porter are the drivers to stay out right now. And just as I say that, there goes Steve Cassell, and into the lead goes Brandon Gordon. Gordon has to be running on fumes at this point of the race. Can he go all the way? No, he cannot. He's going to have to make his final, or excuse me, his first pit stop of this race. Brandon Gordon. Driver who led us for 3 of those crucial laps. Make his stop. This is going to hand the lead over to none other than Brandon Biddy. And Dana Ryan charging behind, 1 second back. You can see him just pushing a little more aggressively than he'd like to right now. But he's trying desperately to stay ahead of Tyler Starcher and Cody Deek. He's got the 38 of Jack Kelly looming behind. Here comes the battle. There goes the 3 with a slide job. And Ryan gives him a little kiss into the barrier, but nowhere that he hasn't been before. There goes the 38 now of Kelly to unlap himself now. And Dana Ryan slips back into third, and A lap car getting by him. He's got to be fuming in his helmet. Here comes Steve Cassell chasing down Brandon Gordon in his charge. Makes quick work of Gordon. Now looks forward to Mark Lett. Brandon Gordon still trying to hold on to a top 10 though. Andrew Childers makes it one step closer to stepping outside of that. Brownell's trying to solidify that. Whoa, caution's out. That will be the end of the stage here. See if we can talk to Brandon Biddy very quickly. Let's see where he is on the racetrack. Brandon Biddy, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Hey man, so it looks like this was the end of the stage. Am I correct?
It was.
All right, good to call that one right for once. Now, you started way down in the order tonight, charged your way through the field, planned pit stop there. I mean, executed perfectly. What do you have to say about it tonight?
Well, I've got my car ready for the long run. So I noticed those guys were kind of losing their tires and everything. I was looking at the leader's lap times, and I was running, you know, at one point almost a second faster than him. So I said, all right, so my plan, you know, worked out. I've got the steering set up a little different tonight just to help me out on the long run.
It definitely looks to be setting yourself up for success, because that long run game is definitely what's going to win it for you. I'll leave you to it there, sir. Anybody you'd like to shout out, or anybody you'd like to thank?
I think my teammate Hobbs and just, you guys in the broadcast booth.
Thank you very much, Brandon Biddy. Take care.
All right, you too.
A little bit dicey coming out of pit lane by the looks of it, but we were able to make it through safely. Now, Childers is the only driver who decided to not come in there on lap 47. Jack Kelly, a handful of black flags getting thrown out there. Let's settle this. So Jack Kelly, Colin Swanson, John Cherry, Andrew Floyd, Stephen Porter, Dean Barron, all with black flag penalties, and will most likely be taking them out of contention for the evening. But Andrew Childers, though, battling for track position here at the Rock, hoping for a little bit of chaos on the restart to get a free pit stop in to try to extend this run to the end is, I think, his strategy call. Mercy there for that number 3. Black flag there for Andrew Floyd, as I said, as they all come through now. In the bottom left-hand side, there's another yellow flag being called. This one's going to be for Matthew Hobbs, the teammate of Brandon Betty. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here. Matthew Hobbs in the 42. Whoa! Hard to say if he came down or someone came up on him. It's definitely hard to say. So now this plays favor for Childers, who left some tires up on the wall. And with this caution period being extended, possibly another 3 laps or so, we could see the final pit stop window become open. Single file line for now as the Lucky Dog gets their call. Dean Barron getting that Lucky Dog, the number 84. Should get back up onto the lead lap. Oh, he will still be 1 lap down. Excuse me. Lights are out on the pace truck, and it's Noah's Ark formation 2x2 as we get ready to take on the last stint of this race. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications for when we go live next here on the DRSN. It's green here for the American Appalachian eSports Rookie Series, and it's going to be a little bit wild going in towards turn 1 as we nearly get to realize turn 2. It's going to be tight as drivers get very close with the concrete. Brownell and the Blind Squirrel finding a nut right now, and there's a big one. That's going to pick up half the field. That was John Cherry getting collected in that. Let's see what happened here. It was a spin up ahead from the 38 of Jack Kelly. No, Jack Kelly avoids the incident. So what happens here? A tank slapper for the 69 of Colin Swanson turns him into a Beyblade, and then he just, unfortunately, as cars have nowhere to go, just start collecting him. Olet with a meatball flag tonight and not in the right way. Handful of drivers decide that they want to risk it coming down pit lane. It's actually easier to tell you which ones decided to stay out. Starcher, Biddy, Deke, Kibby, Childers, Brister, and Gordon all stayed out. Everybody else came down the lane. Little battle back here for position coming out of pit road. And we get settled in for the final stretch here at the Rock 94, brought to you by the American Appalachian eSports Rookie Series and presented by DRSN. Now, we should have talked to a couple of the drivers to see what is causing these cautions on these restarts, as it looks to be the case of just cold tires. Green flag in the air from Barney, and Tyler Starcher goes without any hesitation. Deke and Kibby go toe-to-toe, and a little touch there between friends is going to send Jonathan Kibby off into the concrete, but he's going to try to get the drive through the dog leg and into turn number one. He's going to get alongside fully there and get a door well there, and now he's going to have a good drag on Cody Deke and leave him in the dust from behind. Just 34 laps remaining, so the drivers that have made their pit stop need to do the work now with the fresh tires. Drivers have yet to pit also need to put in their work because they're being chased down by the gentleman on fresh rubber. Expect to see the flurry of pit stops around lap 27 to go. I figured that would be a safe bet for the majority of the field as we look back here at the gaggle of Arca cars. Everybody trying to find a little bit of clean air. As there goes Brister and Gordon. A little further back, Steve Cassell and Mark Brister. Up ahead, though, it's Cody Deke and Andrew Childers. 30 to go. The fuel window is definitely open right now. Dana Ryan, who came in on lap 56 during that caution period to get his fuel and go. Took his tires right around the halfway point of the race. More battles throughout the field as Brownell, Gordon, and Colin Swanson are all glued together. Here's Brownell trying to duke it out with Gordon. And there's Colin Swanson looming no longer as he mounts his attack. Colin was one of the drivers that did come in for that early pit stop there on lap 56, 57. So trying to put in that critical work now. The lead as Brandon Biddy gets through on Tyler Starcher with 24 to go. That one was a long way back and definitely not on my bingo card. The gap already expands to half a second. Brandon Biddy unleashing his pace. As I think he's aware, he's definitely going to have to pit again. Looking at Andrew Childers and his progression throughout the race so far. "19 laps left to go, and I didn't want to curse this race too soon, but this might be one of the cleanest races we've seen here at the AAES. Charisse! Hello! Great to see you. I was just missing you. Welcome in, welcome in. The water's fine. There have been no insane wipeouts or fiery crashes or explosions so far. One big Beyblade moment as yellow flag comes out as Charisse calls it. This is going to be a reprieve for the rest of the field, who can finally take those pit stops. See if we can catch what happened to cause this pit stop. Brandon Gordon potentially. Nope, not seeing what would have happened there. Here comes the fleet of pit stops. Just about everybody comes down pit lane, except for Dean Barron, who is in on lap 55. Perhaps he thinks he can catch a later stage caution. Everybody else coming through the lane right now. Busy pit lane here. As out into the lead is going to be Steve Cassell. Matthew Hobbs a lap down right now, should get the wave around. Or we'll have to fall back, unfortunately. That'll leave us with just 13 laps left to go. 12 when the leader crosses the line. Drivers trying to find any bit of heat that they possibly can in their tires. Lights are out here on the pace truck. Green, green, green is the flag color. And there goes Biddy's pass for the lead. Past Steve Cassell is going to be a challenge. Look out for Dana Ryan in the background. We have an off track there that might bring out a caution. Here as cars get loose coming out of 2 on that extremely cold tire. Dana Ryan weaving more than a knitting grandma right now, trying to find a way through the guys in front. Steve Cassell and Tyler Starcher are being brick houses and immovable objects. There goes Ryan through on Raymond Bell. Another late stage caution comes out. Sharice in the YouTube chat asks, are the boys running on old tires and fumes? Doesn't look like there's been a lot of cautions or pit stops tonight. That is very true. It's a very short race. The race distance only being 94 laps tonight. And there's only been, I think, 3, some drivers taking the 4th pit stop jet there. But so far, it's been so good, to be honest with you, Charisse. Fifth caution of the race, though, and it'll be Andrew Childers with a crash. Let's see what happened here. Oh, that was a nasty one. Thankfully, not too much damage, but will go to the back of the pack on that occasion. Can the Blind Squirrel find a nut tonight? Raymond Bell in the Blind Squirrel Racing team. Up 14 positions tonight. A podium would be fantastic for Bell. Only 8 laps left to go. Hopefully the American Appalachian Arca Rookie Series boys, brought to you by Biddy's Premium Coatings, can pull it together here. Green, green, green in the air, and it will be Brandon Biddy leapfrogging himself into a great spot. But Tyler Starcher trying to challenge back for that position, and it's going to be a touch there, and that'll be a caution. Raymond Bell goes into the wall, and a few others as well. That's going to be a big one. This gun is going to involve Jonathan Kibbe, unfortunately, as the 25 bounces off the wall. Kibbe goes into the wall himself. John Cherry and Brownell both involved in that one as well. Shoot. Just when Charisse shows up, of course, the meatballs come out. Dana Ryan, Mark Ouellette taking interesting strategy calls. Now this will cycle Dana to the back of the pack, but it's just fuel by the looks of it. Dana Ryan back in 12th position. What can he do with 5 laps to go? I mean, we are going to have 3 green-white checkers potentially, so there is that, but still. "13 of Kibby pulls over the Sea Bears pilot. Knows this isn't his fight anymore. Lights are out on the pace truck and we're gridded up 2x2, ready to take this race start. As we have a 4-lap sprint to the end. Green, green, green in the air, and Tyler Starcher runs away with it right now. Cody Deek and Brandon Binney defend for themselves. Looking through the battle packs right now, there's going to go a spin. That'll be the number 69, and surely the caution will come out. '67 comes up as the 69 comes down. Oh. Looks like a few drivers suspecting that we might go past the 95 laps that we predicted tonight. Gonna have to get topped up on fuel as the green-white checkers can push us further and further into this race. Jonathan Kibbe, luckily enough to be back on the lead lap with that lucky dog. Ready to go racing here again. Into the final 2 laps. Starcher, Deek, Biddy, Cassell, Brister, Barron, Porter, Ryan, Olette, and Floyd round out your top 10. 14 cars still on the lead lap. Green, green, green in the air, and Tyler Starcher tries to run away with it with 2 to go. looking further back. Drivers are pushing as hard as they possibly can. The Oath Racing duking it out with Biddy Family Racing as well. Let's not throw out Mark Brister and the SRM team. 1 to go as we get the white flag from Barney. We will finish under this flag condition at this point, and it's going to go the way of Tyler Starcher by the looks of it. The unofficial result says he crosses the line, and it will go the way of Starcher, Biddy, and Cody Deek. Porter, Bell, Biddy, Brister, and Brownell being the biggest movers tonight. Let's take a look at the results before we get to talk to Tyler Starcher, who took the win. Brandon Biddy in P2, Cody Deek in third. Hard Charger going to Stephen Porter. And most laps led going to Tyler Starcher with 32 laps. Stephen Porter took fourth. Dana Ryan in fifth. Mark Brister in sixth. Raymond Bell, Steve Cassell, Dean Barron, Andrew Childers, Jonathan Kibbe, Andrew Floyd, Mark Olette, Colin Swanson, Brandon Gordon, Jacob Brownell, John Cherry, Matthew Hobb, Jack Kelly, and Dwayne Pierce round out the 20. Let's talk to Cody Deek first from Oath Racing. Cody.
Bumped him.
Oh, sorry to grab you, Cody.
No, you're all good, brother.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm living the dream, and it's got to be feeling pretty good after the charge that you had on the evening. I know it was only 2 gained, but it was pretty hard out here at the Rock tonight.
Yeah, only 2 gained, but from, where I started at in practice, I was struggling so much here. Ended up figuring out after like an hour of practicing, I made up like a second of time. So it was definitely a learning experience tonight. I'm not a fan of the Rock.
It's definitely a driver's track. Either you love it or you hate it. And it seems like you just haven't figured out the flavor of it just yet.
Yeah, and then on that restart, I messed up the jump a little bit, and then keeping an eye on Beatty, I oversent the corner and smacked the wall and got my first incident points of the night. But thankfully, we were able to hold on to at least the podium spot. So it's our first podium with Appalachia. So
congratulations on that podium, brother. Really appreciate your support here at the AAES organization. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on this maiden podium?
I'd like to thank Appalachian for putting on the events, you guys up in the booth. Again, great every week. Ulti Energy, Red Dragon, Lycan Forge 3D, and most importantly, Oath Racing for giving me the opportunity. So,
right on, Cody. Thank you very much for joining us in the booth and your support here at the Appalachian eSports League.
Yes, sir. You have a wonderful night.
Thanks, you too. Stay safe, brother.
You too.
Next up, we'll talk to Mr. Biddy, and we'll go straight into talking to Brandon Biddy. The driver who started further down the pack than I think he deserved on the evening. He had a lot of pace underneath him, and that car, well, it seemed just as tight as he was. Up into P2 by the end of the night. How does it feel, Brandon Biddy?
It feels good. I wish I would have got the win there. I was catching him, but like I said, at the stage break, man, my car was better on the long run, and that that last long run we had, I think Tyler and I were swapping fastest lap back and forth, and everything. And looking at the stats here, me and him both led 32 laps apiece, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, his car, my car, I feel like they were pretty identical. Looking at best lap times, we were right there with each other. But overall, it was a good run tonight. I didn't get to practice, so that was the ordeal. When I went to qualify, I was like, this thing does not drive like the trucks do at this track. So I didn't qualify where I wanted to. I actually think it was my worst qualifying start in this league so far. But yeah, P2, good points day, and just look forward to next week. I believe we've got Talladega, and yeah, we got Talladega next week. So I'm one of those strange guys that love super speedway racing, so I can't wait to take on Talladega.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on your podium tonight?
Yeah, thank my teammates over here at Biddy Family Racing, and thank my family for putting up with me doing this. And yeah, and also thank the winner, Tyler. I mean, he raced me clean tonight. I actually finished the race with 0 incident points, and I think that's like the first time I've ever done that. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, and thank you in the booth. It's good to have you back this week.
Thank you very much, brother. Really appreciate you, Biddy. Have a great night, my friend, and stay safe out there.
All right, you as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have none other than our race winner. It's going to be Tyler Starcher, who started from third, ended up leading us for 32 of those glorious laps, and ended up taking it to the checkered flag with a nice lead at the end of the day. Tyler, how does it feel to be on the top step of the podium?
Man, oh man, Motorcraft Dale's on top step today. Felt fantastic. This track is one of the best, I feel. I love this track. It's just something with this track. We ran trucks in a different series here. Loved it then. I think I finished in the top 3 there, but man, feels good to have this one today.
I bet. Was it something about the car that was hooked up? Was it just something about the track that you just find a rhythm in? Was it the strategy playing favor to you? What was the winning recipe for you tonight, Tyler?
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. It's that 3 on the side of that car. Dale Earnhardt gives us all the power to race. God bless Kyle Busch. We can't forget that man. But that 3, this black number 3, we are always up front. We are charging for those top spots all the time. So it has to be the 3.
Has to
So
be.
praise Dale, raise hell, praise Dale.
Indeed.
For those guys. But yeah, I mean, this car just was something else. That Ford Mustang was just hooked up around these corners and just getting to the gas as soon as possible out of these corners was the big key. And I think some people had it. I think Biddy had something for me a little bit, but some with this car had something for him.
Yeah, overdriving the car here at the Rock is definitely going to punish you. And it's not going to be a track that rewards impatience. You have to be tidy, measured, and smart about how you use your tires. And you definitely consume them in the right fashion this evening. Looking forward to next week at a super speedway. Do you expect the number 3 to be in the top spot?
Well, always. We're always shooting for that top. We got a good team around me. With the Rocket One boys, Ray and Dana. Those boys are always pushing for the hardest. Obviously, Biddy's always pushing for the hardest too. So we're always up there battling for that top spot. So with the boys of Rocket One and also the Biddy family, I think we're gonna have a hell of a race next week, and the 3 car, you know it's always up there.
Absolutely. Tyler, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the win tonight?
Obviously, I got to thank you up here in the booth. I couldn't do it, so phenomenal job. You always do a phenomenal job up here in the booth, so give you a round of applause.
Thanks.
Obviously, gotta thank the girlfriend for letting me do this thing every single weekend and shooting for the dreams of iRacing and whatnot. And gotta thank my buddy Anthony Dobbins. He's not in this race as he's just that good, but he gives me all those points. So praise to him. Also, praise to he's on the deck lid of this guy, Ray's Peasant Race Photos. Good buddy up in Connecticut, takes race photos up at Stafford and all those local tracks up there. So thank you to him, and also Dirty Mike Customs for some of the wrap jobs that he does for me. And then, like I said again, obviously thanks to Dana and Ray for having the support behind me, and also all the admins that hold these events every single week for us.
100%. Thank you very much, Tyler Starcher. Have a great night. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there, brother.
Always. And don't forget, everyone, raise hell, praise Dale. And thank you, Kyle Busch.
Thank you, Tyler. Have a great night, brother.
You too.
That was fantastic. I love to hear from the drivers, and I love to hear their enthusiasm about their wins, their podiums, and be there for these moments. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us live now or in the future. Really appreciate all the love and support. Charisse, Ronnie Childers, The Real Biddy, Jesus Saves. Thank you so much for being here in the YouTube chat here at The Rock for the American Appalachian eSports Rookie Series. Brought to you by Biddy's Premium Coatings and presented by the Digital Racing Sports Network. On behalf of the Digital Racing Sports Network, I've been your host, AdminBoxx, taking you from green to checkered flag tonight. But all good things have to come to an end, and so shall this. Have a great night, everybody, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Have a good one.